presidency is over, I'll know what it is I'm supposed to be doing. So I think we sent it out via email, the latest version, as well as mail, but we do have handouts here. So if anybody would like a handout, also raise your hand and Diana can get you a copy of the handout. We did hear from a number of people and made revisions to the policy after the last meeting. So I think we have included most comments and concerns and questions. But if there are some remaining questions, Gigi's going to kind of do a quick review of what we've done and then we'll answer any questions that you have. If you do have a question, we have microphones on both sides of the church. And if you would just say your name and what your question or comment is, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Just one second.
Good morning again. Thank you so much for all of the feedback that you provided on this special funds policy. It's been a bit of a journey. We started working on this at the beginning of the year and thoughtfully prayed about how do we make sure that we're able to capture as well as document the use and the organization of the funds that have been provided to us by the congregation as well as outside entities. The changes that we made that was heard during the previous meeting was some clarification about how the funds could be used specifically by those that are involved in those activities. We did look at, especially as we're combining the music funds, how do we represent each one of those musical groups and make sure that they've got the voice and they also have the visibility into the funds that are available. So that was one of the key areas, as well as fundraising, to make sure that our great fundraising committee knows that we will support them with their what is needed to make sure that we continue that mission. We did have some questions about how do we shift some of the money that was not necessarily being used over the last few years and make sure that that is visible, as well as that those funds could further the mission of the church. Were there any additional questions that you had as you read through this? Any other suggestions? Yes, Shelley?
I don't ever speak without a microphone. I'm just curious how our funds impact what's budgeted. For example, with music, in our budget we have music. Do the money in the funds somehow prompt those who make these decisions to decrease the budgeted music money?
The approach we've taken is that if the activity is supported by day-to-day or those usual expenditures of the church, those are budgeted as part of the general fund. So, and then any additional activities that we would need as far as having special music, or if we need to purchase an instrument or things like that, that would come out of the funds that we have. For example, in the van fund, we had a van fund for many years, and that was to support the vans that we had. We rolled that fund because those are really expenditures that are day to day. gas, maintenance, things like that, that shouldn't necessarily be out of a fund, but should be out of a general expenditure. Now, if it comes to the point where we're going to need another van, we will then reinstitute that van fund and then communicate that accordingly. Does that make sense? Other questions? Great. Oh, yes, Joanne. That we did have a van fund, and what we were finding is that we were using that to pay gas, right? And so we've moved that to a line item in our general fund and general expenditures, because going in and getting the shut-ins, participating in some of our mission is really part of the core of our church. And so that's why it's been moved into the general fund, and will be, those funds will be allocated as part of our normal budget. So the funds will be there for the van or the use of the van, but if we need a new van, we will have to reinstitute that fund. Does that make sense? Yes, and so we were waiting basically for this policy to go into effect, and then we're going to adjust everything accordingly, if that makes sense. Other questions? All right, thanks.
If there are not any other questions or concerns, I would ask for someone to make a motion to approve the new funds policy. Bill, and a second. Charles. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Please say nay. We have one. Okay. One opposed, Shirley. It is passed as the majority has approved the budget, or the fund. I don't think there are any other issues for us to discuss this morning, unless anybody else has anything else that they want to bring up right now. If not, I would ask for a motion to dismiss, to end the meeting. And I can't, oh, Dennis. And a second? Yes, Kathy. All right. All in favor of dismissing? Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time.